Hey, guys, welcome back to another monster analysis video. So today we're going to be doing an analysis on the upcoming Lord Nebotus 2.0 on aka Nadalotus, which is the new monster coming up in the new Tails challenge. I'm gonna let you guys know if this monster is actually worth going for. So I hope you're all excited. If you are, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Anyways, we're going to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, this was actually posted in Monster's Twitter, so there's a little description that they went ahead and posted. It says Nadalotus is extremely close related to another monster who almost destroyed the universe a while back. Can you guys remember who it is? Obviously, that is the one and only Nebotus, Lord Nebotus. So this is like supposed to be Lord Nebotus basically, but like a good version of him basically. If you guys actually saw my video on the Xmas 23 where I opened up the chest, I also did the saga, and in that saga we actually saw you know, the big reveal, and I couldn't believe it. Honestly, the first time I actually saw it, I was like, what? Anyways guys, here we have like a big picture of, we can basically take a look at the design, the skill sets and everything, the books. So the books, I don't know what the first one is. It's like a green book. We could probably see it later on the next sheet, but it's also from the Good Legions and Spirits book, and obviously part of the multiverse era. This is actually a mythic monster. For those of you guys wondering, it's not an ancestral. This mythic monster has a light and fire element. The fire element could have been something else, because right now we're no longer in the fire meta, we're actually in the water meta. So the water element is the one that's on the top right now. So having that fire element, that is that could be like a con basically for this monster. But we can also mention some pros for this monster as well later on. Let's take a look at the skills. High Hopes is one of them. Moderate light damage to one enemy, applies baby reversion and rapid test. So not only are you dealing damage, but you're also applying a denial, which is baby reversion. Now we haven't had a monster with baby reversion abilities in a very long time. I believe the last monster was like Mad Triarch. So it's been a very long time, but we finally have another one. It's good to see it back. We have Xmas Resolution, the next skill. It's a moderate light damage to an enemy, applies baby reversion and rapid sense. So another, basically the same exact thing, copy and paste, literally. Moderate light damage, applies baby reversion and rapid sense to an enemy, baby reversion and rapid sense to an enemy. It's literally a copy and paste. I'm like looking at it right now, and it's literally the same thing. So yeah, it's just a copy and paste. Let's take a look at the next skill. Fireplace Warmth. Heavy light damage, but this time it's a mega baby reversion, and there's no longer rapid sense, but you're getting a mega baby reversion and a heavy light damage instead of the moderate light damage. Next skill, it deals heavy light damage and applies mega baby reversion to an enemy. So another copy and paste basically. What the heck? The first two are copy and paste. The second, the third and fourth are also copy and paste. I'm not sure if that is a mistake or if that's actually the way it is, but if it's the way it is, that's just crazy. I wasn't actually expecting that. So we don't see any AoE skills here. You might actually have an AoE skill later on in the next the full stat sheet, which we're going to take a look at in a second. So now it's important to take a look at the stats and traits. Before we get into the stats, let's take a look at the traits. So the traits, you're gaining the tough trait, I believe that is. Tough trait. Rank 1, you have anticipation as a trait. Rank 3, you have immune to possession, and I believe also corruption from basically to everybody in your allies in your team. Now I do like the tough and anticipation trait, but I feel like that status caster could have been immune to control maybe, or even just a copy and paste of evasion from Lord Nebotus himself, or even like have rank 4 or 5 where you actually work for that, eventually give you that evasion, because that evasion actually helped them out a lot back in corrupted era. So I feel like that would have been a nice copy and paste, since we see a lot of copy and paste on the skills, and obviously the trait anticipation being there, and immune to possession. So they didn't make it as OP as the old one, but we still have another version of him obviously. So it's a pretty decent one though so far. At level 150, the stats are 1.2 million life, so 1,226,000 life, literally 226,000, that's it, and then 41,440 power. Now the power, I would say he's lacking just a little bit, because look, you know, let's use a UV Forge for example, because that's another attacker from the multiverse era. That monster has like about 200-ish more power than this monster. So I wanted to use that as an example because that's another attacker. I just can't think of any other ones from this era at the moment. But basically the power, he's lacking, you know what I mean? He's kind of slacking. He could have had more power than UV Forge, or even like at least mashed it. But anyways, 20,976 speed. Wow, the speed could have been better as well, I feel like. But yeah, anyways, let's I guess we're gonna have to move to the relics and everything else now. But honestly though, they went ahead and kind of ruined the UV fusion monster as well. Like, you know how they kind of went from the fusion monster in general, like the first monster. What was the name? It wasn't UV fusion. The first one I'm talking about, the original one, the legendary one. She was like one of the best monsters, literally like OP as heck back in legendary era. And then they released the mythic version, which was UV fusion, right, which they slightly nerfed, and then they decided to finally release another one, which was UV forge. They turned her into an attacker and nobody actually uses it, obviously. So they kind of did that with Nebotus as well here, as you see. Honestly, it could have been better, I feel like, because look, the area possession immunity, that's the only way this monster can basically block denial. Other than that, he can actually get denied with any other denials. There is obviously stun, possession, not possession, sorry, but he's immune to possession, stun, freeze, you know, baby reversion, anything you can name of, except possession, obviously, like I said. So other than that, the rank 0 and rank 1 traits are good. Relics, on the other hand, it's also a copy and paste with sword and armor. So for sword, you can literally go with almost any sword. It'll work out. Armor, I would do any armor, like for example, Relics armor would be nice because it heals you and also gives you stamina whenever your stamina is low. I feel like that would be a good armor to get to this monster. If you don't want to do that, you can run any of the other new ones as well. The books, it's actually a part of Festives. That's what it was. Festive, Spirit, and Good Legions. I like how they capitalize the good in there. But anyways, Red Nose, it's a moderate fire damage and applies burn to one enemy. That's a 0 cooldown, 0 stamina cost. You can run a spammable skill basically. You have another spammable skill, but this one's Denial, which is just a baby reversion. Then you have the Gift of Sharing, which is a precision immune to possession to one ally. It's not worth running. No. He does have, as you can see, a one, actually he has two self-support skills in a way, if you actually want to run that. So I guess we can kind of you know, have that as one of the pros for this monster, you know what I mean? Although nobody's going to be running this, obviously. Winter Cinders, that's a moderate late damage and applies repentance to all enemies. So I don't know if this is an AoE skill. I don't know if the repentance is to everybody, but the light damage is only to one enemy. I think that this is to everybody. I'm pretty sure this is to everybody, or else it would actually say moderate light damage to one enemy and then repentance to everybody. That would have made more sense. So that's a 30 stamina cost on winter cooldown. I would actually run this, honestly. If I were you, I would actually run this. Let's take a look at the remaining skills. We have High Hopes, which is a damage boost, and True Vision. This one you might be able to run. Yeah, sure, he has a self damage boost. If you want to run it, you can. And you gain True Vision in case if you try to apply baby reversion, it doesn't miss. So yeah, this is the baby reversion skill that we saw. And then there's this one, moderate fire damage and applies burn. Also, they did make a mistake up there. Yeah, they did make a mistake actually. I just checked, and basically it's just kind of a copy and paste. So they made an error. I'm pretty sure they'll probably delete that post soon or something. But yeah, no, this is the right skills right here, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, because I was worried in the beginning. I'm like, what the heck? So yeah, he does have a moderate fire damage and a burn. I would keep this AoE as well. You have one AoE, then you have this pure skill, single target. I would do this one as well, single target. And last but not least, you can either run the damage boost, or you can do the moderate light damage with repentance, or you can switch one of the two, like either run the light damage one or the fire damage. It's up to you. But those are the 4 best skills in my opinion that you should definitely run for this monster. In terms of cooldown, it's actually medium to low, which is cool. Stamina cost, it's actually high, I would say. Yeah, look at that, 51, 46, 52, 40. Like, that's a bit high, I feel like. So this monster, I mean, you could definitely run Killer Arc's armor, guys. Run Killer Arc's armor, give some stamina to this monster, or any of the other armors that gives you stamina, honestly. The ultimate is called the Lord of Gifts, which removes positive side effects from everybody, moderate light damage to all enemies, and removes all negative side effects, and gives 100% life and stamina to all allies, plus a random protection. I mean, that makes sense. He's literally Santa. He's Santa, so it makes sense. But it's kind of crazy, the fact that he's removing everything, all the negative side effects, healing everybody, stamina, and a random protection. That could definitely throw off the enemy, especially in team wars. If this monster gets to turn in and he uses his ultimate, you gotta be careful. You gotta watch out. All right, so that would make a pretty good defense monster for team wars, I would say. But anyways, guys, overall the monster is okay. I mean, I was expecting more, to be honest, but at least this is better than the other one, right? I really thought the main skill sheet that we saw over there, the first one, I thought that was actually it, but no. I mean, the skills here is actually better. I actually like the monster. I've got to say, he's good. He's not bad. He's good. So the skills that I mentioned earlier, run those if you do obtain this monster. And again, for armor, you want to give something that will give this monster his stamina. He needs the stamina, trust. Or you can actually pair it up with any other monster that will basically buff up his power, because as you can see, his damage output actually is a bit sucky. Like, look at this, 50. That's the highest one he has. 50, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? So do you really really like, are you really relying on this? I would pair it up with like Albinasa or any other damage booster like Super Fume or something. You know what I mean? Boost up his damage so that he can actually deal more damage. But other than that, not a bad monster. I would actually obtain it. I would get it, I would pick it up, and I would actually invest in it if I were you. But he's not like insanely OP is what I'm trying to tell you guys, okay? If anybody tells you he's OP, he's not OP. He is good. He's a good monster, but not OP, all right? We've seen better, obviously. Even the original Nebotus, if we were to use the original Nebotus and we switch stats and the OG Nebotus comes here, like, I'd probably go with that monster kind of. I mean, if we're also counting the, you know, talents as well. Use that monster with the talent. Unrelenting Assault, for example. That was just insane. But yeah, pretty good monster, guys. Definitely invest. And I understand that now it's actually a lot harder to actually obtain the Tails Challenger monsters now because the Gems dungeon got nerfed, obviously. So that really sucks. I really feel bad for free-to-play players. I really do. So I don't know. Hopefully they revert it. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see. In terms of runes, what I would do for this monster, I would do 2 strength and 1 speed. Or you can do 1 strength and 2 speed, or run triple strength. That's up to you. Personally, I would do 2 strength and 1 speed though, because this monster's damage output, it kind of sucks. But yeah, like I said, run it with any damage booster and you'll be fine. Especially Albinasa. I think Albinasa would be very, very nice for this monster. Anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's monsters analysis video. Hope you guys did enjoy, and if you did, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Share it with your friends because that'll also help me out and help them out as well. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace out.